And you're still watching Prime One, and this segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still phone papa pair for you. Whatever gadgets you're looking for, whether mobile phones, television sets, CCTV cameras, we've got you covered. Now, to make things very, very simple, like as you're watching, you see the numbers that have appeared on your screen? Yes, that's the number to pick up and call us. Now, as you do so, believe us, so that will deliver it to you at your doorstep. And also, you can download the app on your phone, which is the Franco Trading app. Very simple. Go to Google Play Store, download the app, which is Franco Trading app, and you can actually purchase any item of your choice in the comfort of your home. For further inquiries, you can visit us on www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still phone papa pair fee. Now, this morning, it might look like we're starting a bit early, I know. So those of you who are telling your friends, oh, now let's go and shower and come back around 6:20, that's when they'll start. We started early, and you can also join us by sending your messages to us, be a part of the conversation. You can send it to us on our WhatsApp number, which is 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757, or visit our web, or you can go to Facebook, as we stream live on Facebook, which is Joy Prime TV, and leave your comment there. We do appreciate every single comment that is sent in. I have with me my very first guest, who is an early bird, just like myself, Osei Kwame Griffith, who is representing the NDC. Good morning, Griffith.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
It's good to have you. Great. You're an early bird, just like myself. Oh, you live in my area?
Actually, I live at Boche.
Yes, that's my area.
Oh, okay.
So we have to wake up early. We can't be late.
Yeah, we cannot.
You know, I guess I picked a guess because I was like, okay, you have to leave early, come in early, so the traffic doesn't start building up and you get into trouble. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for being here with us this morning, and we'll delve into our topics. Now, let me give you a bit of gist with regards to our topics for this morning. Now, the DDEP money bond holders who had to get their bonds paid finally got paid. Now, this is the third payment, and out of this payment, over 6 billion Ghana cedis was made from the government. Now, the NPP came out, the former finance minister came out to say that they had actually set the grounds ready for the NDC to be able to access the money to pay the bondholders. Yesterday, the NDC also came out, that's the Minister for Communication, or it's not the Minister for, I'll get his title right, Honorable Felix Ofosu-Kwakye came out to let us know that it's actually different. The government spokesperson, thank you very much. The government spokesperson made us aware that it's not so. It's very, very different. For the government, they had to get the money from somewhere to pay, because the amount of money that was left in the coffers by the NPP government is only 800,000 Ghana cedis if he pegs it at 16 cedis per dollar. Yeah. So we'll be talking about that. We'll delve deeper into it, where we have Isaac Kofi-Addo, who will join us and explain to us more how this whole DDEP thing works, how the bondholders, their monies are to be paid, how the money is even saved, where it is saved, and how, you know, both parties are claiming glory for it. He will definitely let us understand, is it party A or is party B that gave us the money? We'll delve into that. And then also, appointments have been made by the president, but then there are issues in some places. Now, one of the places that has popped up in recent times, as yesterday, is the birth and death registry, where the appointment of the CEO that has been made has been hit with a lot of issues. Now, CLOSAG has threatened strike if President Mahama doesn't change this man from post. He has been at post for a while now, and the people says they do not want him. A government spokesperson, again, Honorable Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, came out to say that this man is qualified enough to do the job. And so those of you who are saying that he has to be a neutral person and not be somebody with political colors should not be thinking so, because the Constitution doesn't state that. We'll delve into that as well, but be a part of our conversation. It's time for me to read all the newspapers, and then Kofi will join us to explain more about the DDEP, the bondholders, the shares being paid, and all of that to us. I'll start with the Ghanaian Times newspaper, the Ghanaian Times. Let's prioritize organic fertilizer in crop production, says Professor Miller. Prove your critics wrong, President Mahama urges reconstituted Council of State. Government GJA to meet over journalist safety, and this is something that we've been crying for a very long time, so I think this is a call in the right direction. We have to be safe. I mean, even not just, physically, but when it comes to even social media bullying, it's so bad. You have no idea how it can affect somebody's mental health. And so I'm excited about this particular one. GHS dedicates health desk at regional district hospitals to support PWDs. And that will be it for the Ghanaian Times newspaper. The next newspaper is the Supreme newspaper. Archbishop Boateng to release 100 inmates from Insawam prison. God bless him for that. Michael A. Dodu lacks capacity to sue on behalf of Dodu Clotte family, says court. Blaze Investment begins construction of new AstroTurf for Kotoko. NPA to deploy automated dispensers to implement 24-hour economy. Well, during the campaign, we were promised 24-hour economy, and NPA seems that they are setting the pace for it. Gabriel Tanko Kwame sworn in as Council of State member, and the banner headline reads, High Court imposes cost on Asiedu Nketia for omitting crucial witness in defamation case, and it's actually 3,000 Ghana cedis that he has to pay. My final newspaper is the New Republic. The New Republic. Kenzo must go. Pressure mounts on Mahama to remove MPP's Kenzo as VRA CEO. Another issue altogether. I mean, the removals and I don't know. Anyway, Galamsey boss battles retention after aiding NPP honchos to destroy forest reserves. Ghana education shake-up needed. President Mahama wants, and massive rot at ECG. Energy Minister raises concerns. It looks like ECG has also been popping its head lately. So we are still waiting for the rot that they say they have found in ECG. Come and give us every detail. We are here as a media. We'll definitely broadcast all the information to the world. So if there's rot, don't just tell us, oh, there's rot. Oh, massive rot. No. Give us the details. That's what we do. All right. Anyway, so Griffith is still here, and we are going to delve into the conversation pretty shortly. I need you to be part of the conversation as well, so send it to us on 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757, and I'll read a lot of messages today. I promise you that. I'll do that. And also, you can leave your comments on Facebook for us. And I just want to have Griffith's take on the whole brouhaha between the two main political parties. One government says, oh, I set the pace. I laid the foundation. I made sure I watered the grounds. Before you came, all you're doing is you're harvesting the fruit and giving it to the people. The NDC says, no, you didn't do anything. Probably, yes, you might have bought the land, but you forgot to plant the seed and water it for it to grow. So we need to get to the bottom of it. Yeah. Which is which? Who did what?
Well, I think the facts speaks for themselves. If you look at, and let me start from what the minority said in their press conference. Mm-hmm. They said that they had built the necessary buffers, and had lodged an amount of money that was adequate to make the payments that government just paid in the debt service account. Mm-hmm. And then they also said that they haven't defaulted on coupon payments starting from 2023. Now, first of all, it is very clear that they made effort to make some coupon payments.
I think they made 2 coupon payments.
Yes, before elections.
Yeah.
But it was, from all indications, and from the figures available in the accounts that they referenced, indicate clearly that they had no plans to continue these coupon payments after the elections. Just like, so many other things. I remember we had a conversation about the energy sector where they didn't buy any crude for to sustain power and all that. So it's very clear that they made no plans to continue with these coupon payments. And don't forget that within the first 90 days, after every election period, you are technically running on the budget of the previous government. Because somewhere in November, they are supposed to send appropriation, permission to spend, whilst appropriation has not been made to Parliament and is approved. Okay. So no plans was made and it's very clear from the fact that from the 7th of January, when the NDC took office, the account had 155.4 million Ghana cedis. The accounts are in 2 folds. Yeah. We have one which is a US dollar account, has that US dollar component. And then there's another one which is a CD account. The CD account is supposed to be for domestic debt management. Yeah. Good. And the dollar account is supposed to be for the Eurobonds and what have you, which is a foreign. None of them had adequate money in it. In fact, the dollar account had, I think, $64,000 or something in it as at the time that they left office. And then the CD account had 155.4 million Ghana cedis. As we speak now, after paying 6 billion, we still have 9.23 billion Ghana cedis in the account to meet obligation that is coming up in July and August. But we met 155.4 million, not billion, million Ghana cedis in the account. So it's very obvious that I think people have not gotten over, the habit of politicians just throwing out the kitchen sink approach where you throw everything out there, hoping that, people will buy into some of these falsehood and then,
And you made a payment of 6 billion Ghana cedis. 6 billion. Okay.
And after making the payment of 6 billion, there was money left. As we speak now, there's 9.23 billion left in the account to meet obligations as far as July and August of this year. And we met 155.4 billion. I mean, the account has had some lodgements in it in the past. But it's very obvious that as the lodgements come in, nobody knows where the money goes. And if your research officer comes in, you can ask that question. There was some 1-point-something billion that was lodged in it. He cannot tell you, as a research officer, from his engagement with the Ministry of Finance, how that money was applied. So it is very obvious that before election, of course, they made some coupon payments. But after the election, they had no money left in the account that was adequate to meet any of the obligations that were due now and due July and August of this year. So I think that they probably shouldn't have had that press conference at all. I don't know whether they thought that we would be, we would fold our hands behind our back and just keep quiet and allow them to...
So what you're trying to say is that they lied?
Yes. It's total falsehood, and I think that's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. All right. So as of now, I think I'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we have more for you. So do stay. You're still watching Prime Morning. This is the News Flash segment. My other guests have joined us, and let me welcome them. So joining us this morning is Honorable Matthew Yindam, who is a Member of Parliament for Bandai. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning.
How are you?
Birthday girl, I'm fine.
I'm still waiting for my birthday present.
Don't worry. Today you'll cash in.
I trust you. And representing the CPP this morning too is Openyi Kwame Chantwa Esquire.
Who the whole birthday?
Openyi birthday.
But someone else.
Yeah.
It won't start the Valentine.
No, so you see, the Valentine just was like a pause. Back to birthday. You see, everybody. Everybody.
I don't say do me this or better.
Oh, Piggy, you don't have a problem. Okay. You know I got you.
No problem.
Anyway, you can still send your messages to us on 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757. Now, who paid the buffers to the bondholders? Is it the NPP or the NDC? Now, the NPP claim that they actually got the land, planted the seed, watered the seed, and then the NDC came in to harvest. The NDC says, no way, you just bought the land. We actually brought in the seed, we have watered the seed, and we are harvesting. And people are asking the questions, if you're harvesting, where did you get the money from? If you're harvesting, then how is it that within just 3 months, or probably 2 months at office, you've managed to get this money, yet the NPP didn't have it at that time? Well, we'll talk about that. And we have Isaac Kofi Joy News, a.k.a. Joy News, that's what I call him, joining us on Zoom as well. Good morning, Isaac. Good morning. Isaac, please unmute yourself for me.
Rosalie, I'm on mute. Can you hear me, please?
I can hear you. Fantastic. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I can tell you're in the office already.
No, yes.
Okay. All right. Please help us understand this whole issue that is going on, because for one particular political party that was in government, they say that they did all the work, and they actually had the money there for the NDC to pay the bond. For the NDC, they say no, they didn't have the money, because if you take a look at what was in the account, it wasn't in billions, because they paid up to 6 billion Ghana cedis. But what they came to meet was barely 3 million. And so can you help us understand how this whole thing works, and if truly the NDC was able to get the money from somewhere else to pay the bondholders?
Well, so I think there are two claims here to be analyzed. The first claim is that the NDC claims they created a buffer of 15 billion Ghana cedis and, paid 6 billion out of it just about 2 days ago or so. And the second claim is that they are going to reintroduce or, bring back the sinking fund, right? So let's start with even the side that talks about bringing back the sinking fund. The first question is, was the sinking fund really empty, or was it that it wasn't existing until NDC came to power before they started considering bringing back the sinking fund? That's the first question we have to ask. And it is fair to say that it was the NDC that introduced such a special purpose vehicle called the sinking fund, where we set that up to be able to put money in there so that when it is time for us to pay our debt, especially the maturing principals, we just go into that account, pay, and wouldn't have to have a problem of now going to look for that money. We've seen that, of course, since the NPP came to power, that account wasn't as really active as it used to be under the NDC. But the answer is that the account has not been empty, because per our personal checks using available data from the Finance Ministry, it shows that lodgements were made into that account, although we do not have the account statement. But the fiscal data from the Ministry of Finance shows that there's an account that has been active. So it's not like the sinking fund wasn't there and then the NDC is introducing it. That's the first claim.
All right. Now, Kofi, before you continue, I just want to find out. Now, I don't think that the government spokesperson, Honorable Fosu-Kwakye, did mention that it was empty. He said there was some amount of money in there, but it was just not up to the 6 billion.
No, I'm saying that creating the assumption. I mean, in his first press statement, he said the president instructed him to, is it read? I'm finding it difficult to remember the word he used, but it was creating the impression that this was something that wasn't existing, which we've proven with data from the finance ministry that it was active, right? Let me put it that way, not to say that the account was empty. And the other angle or the other claim is who actually paid that money, or who actually put money in the account. Now, we are checking from the same Ministry of Finance fiscal data, and the last time they updated what is available in the public domain is as of August 2024. They updated this document somewhere around 2:25 p.m., right? 2:25 p.m. And if you look at the information on the sinking fund, last year, which was 2024, the last year of the NPP, their intention was to deposit 241 million into the account. 241 million into the account for the entire year. That was what they had programmed to deposit in the account. Now, at the end of the second quarter, which is from January to July, what we are seeing in terms of our checks is that at the end of the second quarter, the NPP had, put in more money than they actually intended. The amount of money they had put in that account, or the lodgement into the account, was close to 1.1 billion, higher than the 241 million they envisaged. What we don't have is the data gap from July to December. Nobody knows the total amount that was lodged into the account. But what we can also confirm is that even though you had lodgement of 1.1 billion going into it as of July, nobody knows the account balance then, right? We only know the transfers into the account, but we do not know the balance. We also know that, in August, the NPP also made a coupon payment before they left. They made also a coupon payment of close to 6 billion Ghana cedis to the bondholders. So definitely, that means that we all don't know if they picked the money straight from the sinking fund or that account, or what they call the debt service account, which now is being called the sinking fund. The debt service account was to be created under the current IMF program so that we put both monies there. So you have Forex in there and you have CD accounts also there, where the dollar side is supposed to pay the external equivalent of the debt servicing, and the CD account for the domestic servicing. So what we can confirm is that as of July, there was a transfer of close to 1.1 billion Ghana cedis into the sinking fund. But what we are learning from Felix is that behind you can see that the dollar account had just about 64,000 in there as the balance, right? And as the balance. And he says that as of January 31st, 2025, this balance has increased to $96.9 million. That is the dollar side. The CD side, which has become the bone of contention, which he says that what they came to meet as of, I think, 2nd January was somewhere 155 million Ghana cedis, which was not enough to pay the 6 billion cedis that we are talking about. Definitely, the question is, where did the government get the money to deposit into the account? Considering the fact that we do not have a budget yet, and remember that what we are not privy to is the full detail of the Q1 budget, the provisional budget that the former finance minister, Amin Adam, remember we all were talking about the fact that he has to submit that budget. Eventually he did, where he stated that we were supposed to spend close to 60 billion Ghana cedis in the first quarter. Nobody is privy to the details of that budget. As to whether provisions were made in the sinking fund, as to whether provisions were made for the settlement of the DDEP coupons, nobody is aware. What we are aware now is that the NDC is claiming that they were the one who restocked the account, has placed more money into it, and as at the last time they were doing the 6 billion deduction, they had close to more than 15 billion Ghana cedis inside.
Okay,
yesterday I saw Felix had the bank statement. We do not have access to it. So if they can make the soft copy available, I think that will all help us in tracking how much has entered the account and how much has left the account, Rosalie.
All right. Now, Kofi, is this possible that within a space of 1 month, the NDC, without having a budget, will be able to raise this amount of money and put it in the sinking fund?
Possible, because government is still borrowing from the T-bill market. Remember that I think just last 2 weeks or so, they entered the market to borrow. So, I mean, if you are borrowing from the T-bill market, definitely, usually around the first quarter of the year, borrowings from the securities market is supposed to cater for some of these things, debt servicing, payment of workers, and all of that. And so we do not have a budget yet, but you are seeing government having activities in the treasury bill market. Just tomorrow, government intends to borrow some huge monies again from the T-bill market. So it is possible that it could be one of the sources in terms of finding money to pay to pay the DDEP creditors. What we are not aware is that we do not have the full details of the debt service account, which Felix yesterday claims he has the copy. So if he makes it available to the media, I think that will actually help us close the data gap that exists at the moment.
Okay. All right. I'll come back to you. I just want to come to the studio to have a conversation with my studio guest, and then I can come back to you, Kofi. So I want to ask Openyi Kwame Chantwa, I mean, how do we get the government to be transparent enough? Because it looks like because of lack of transparency, that's why we are where we are today. If we had a system where it's so transparent that we know the balance sheet, we won't have the NPP saying, oh, we left this amount of money, and the NDC saying, no, you didn't leave this amount of money. We rather have been able to raise the money to pay the bondholders.
Good morning to our viewers. Good morning to my fellow panelists. Are we school children? Are we school children fighting over a meal? Are we? Tell me. What does it matter? When you go to the Constitution and you go to the directive principles of state policy, you go to Article 7, and this is what it says. As far as practicable, a government shall continue and execute projects and programs commenced by the previous government. There's something called perpetual succession in governance. You take over from where the last government left off. So what is the argument for? Is it because the former finance minister said DPP payments not due to Mohammed's directive, but MPP strategic planning? What has that got to do with the price of milk?
Well, everybody wants to gain
favor in the eyes of Ghanaians. What has that got to do with the price of milk? What kind of solution and results were we looking for that the DDEP constituents would receive their money? What has the previous government got to do with it? Are they not out of government? Are they still in government? Did Ghanaians vote for them? No. So what is the hoo-ha for? What are they trying to achieve? We should all be happy that government has been able to pay.
Well, they want everybody to know that they worked hard. They managed to get the money to where it is today. So you shouldn't take just the glory for yourself.
What kind of glory are they looking for? Are they in power?
But even in opposition, you should
How
let them know that
many
you work.
MPs do they have in Parliament? How many MPs did they have 2016? How many MPs did they have 2020? How many MPs do they have today? When you look at the election, what did they get? What was the difference between them and the current government now? This is throwing sand in our eyes. Who put the money there? Who didn't put the money there? What does that do to you? So, okay, it comes out that, yeah, MPP left money in there. Now, yeah, that what? So we should clap for them. That NDC put the money there. And so what?
I think that
the result is that the DDEP bondholders at least have been paid. Are we not a government, are we not a country trying to build a nation? Does it matter? Shouldn't we be happy that they've been able to be paid? What if they couldn't pay them? Will the NDC now blame the MPP? I mean, this kind of politics should stop. It doesn't help anybody. There are grave issues. Did you hear the news today? That 9 forest reserves, Forestry Commission cannot go in there because there are thugs in there.
By Galamsey.
Isn't that the most important thing? Isn't that the most important thing? Look, this country is a rich country. If we were to do our things well, we won't be arguing about this amount of money that we've paid to bondholders as to who put it there, who didn't put it there. I'm not interested in that. My interest is that have they been able to pay them? Because you committed to them that at the end of every session that they need to be paid, they will pay them. As to how they did it for me is neither here nor there.
The most important thing is they've been paid.
They've been paid. For me, that's the most important thing.
Okay.
As to who put the money there, doesn't matter. Okay. So the MPP put the money there. We are agreeing that what Dr. Amin is saying is true. What does it change?
I think I should ask Honorable Nyindam, what does it change? Because they are saying they put the money there.
Well, good morning once again, and then to my uncles, my two uncles. I'm privileged, I think, every Thursday to be in their middle. You know, when you have uncles, they give you good counseling.
Yeah.
And good morning to the people of Bandai. You see, I am a bit worried when it comes to this particular subject matter. Worried because it's about people's investment. And today, my uncle rightly said, how many MPs do we have today? What is our results in 2024? This is one of the reasons why we lost the 2024 elections. It played a very key role in our situation today. So I am very careful about it. And any time I get opportunity, I want to say that program hurts us a lot. It really, really hurts us a lot. And as a government, we think that getting the opportunity again, we will look at such a program and how to navigate our way through. We all admit that, yes, there were huge challenges, COVID and all those things, the economic crisis, make us take some decisions that were not comfortable with Ghanaians. And obviously, to even take tax from somebody is a problem. How much charge the person's investment that he's kept somewhere, thinking that he's going to survive on it. And not just touching, at the end of the day, there was some kind of head cut on that particular thing. But be what it may, somebody will say, give the devil his due. I think that is what it's about this morning. It's about giving the devil his due. You see, it's like he said, whether the money was there, whether the NDC brought the money, it's neither here nor there. I get what I'm saying. But when you paint a picture as if that just your 2 months, I don't even know if NDC is even 2 months.
Yeah. Are we in March? No, we have to March, so it's not 2 months.
You create an impression that you are the magic, you've performed some kind of magic. Then people want to put the records right. We are not here to debate the matter, but we thought that, look, let's put or set the records straight. Yes, today, whether if you are in government, you inherit assets, you inherit liabilities. It is up to you to take us through 4 years. It is the responsibility of NDC to take us through 4 years. And nobody can debate that. So even if we had all the money down, it's their responsibility to spend. As we speak today, the NDC don't have a budget. The budget we are spending on today, it is a vote account that the MPP did, which is constitutional. It is a constitutional mandate for every government to have that budget for the succession government to come and continue so that they can spend on that particular budget.
So what if it's really true that there wasn't enough funds in the single
What if, you see, there is nothing, there can never be anything enough.
No, okay.
I get what I'm saying. There can never be anything enough. You see, these debates, that's what I'm saying, that I'm not interested in the figures. Are you getting me? But if you look at the letter, it was like nothing has been done. It is a directive that do this. You see, when you do that, obviously, there are payment plans. 2023, coupons were paid. 2024, coupons were paid.
Yeah.
So what they are paying, it is due, so they must pay.
Well, they say that it looks like you didn't have plans to pay if you had
You see, if we had been in power, we wouldn't have plans to pay.
Yeah,
so how did we pay the 2023? How did we pay the 2024? Coupons were paid. Are you getting me? It's not a very comfortable area for us because we know the damage this particular debt restructuring has got to at the MPP. So you should not be proud. After all, somebody will say, we got ourselves into this as a government. So it is an obligation for payment to be made. What the man or the one who has invested, the bondholder, wants this morning is that his bonds or his maturity has come, his coupons has been what? Has been paid. I get what I'm saying. But in the actual sense, don't let it look as if that there was no plan. Look, maybe off camera, we can also discuss details about it because there are a lot of people who are involved in this. And there are plans.
Okay.
Banks have come up with plans. And there were options for bondholders to choose whether you wanted this one or you wanted this one. All those plans were there. But for you to just come and you write a letter as if that the previous government has no plans, it is not true. And like he said, the sinking fund is not a new thing. Although, like he said, NDC created it for payment and servicing of debts. The MPP never left that fund idle. We made some kind of payment into it. And like it was over 1 billion Ghana cedis was in that fund. As to whether that's where the money is coming from, it's not where the money is coming from. We want Ghanaians to know that, yes, unfortunately, we got ourselves into this. We had plans to pay. And from 2023, bonds holders that got maturity were paid.
Okay.
2024, they were paid. And we are in 2025, they will be paid. And it is their responsibility as a government
to pay. To
continue to pay. If they renege if they are not able to pay, they will be held accountable as a government, not MPP.
Okay.
So this kind of up and down, who did this, who did that, well, we are in the political era.
It's a political thing, and we see it's politics.
My comment on that.
There are ordinary Ghanaians out there. Why are we not making their statement transparent if it's true that the NPP left nothing in there?
I think...
Or left less than what you paid?
I think the NDC has been very transparent in this matter. Much more transparent than the MPP has been. If you read the post by the former finance minister and the press conference, they keep saying that we had enough in the account. When there are issues like this, are front center in a national discourse, enough is not enough. I was expecting the former finance minister to say we left 15 billion in the account. We are saying that we met the account with a balance of 155.4 million Ghana cedis.
So you have been transparent with the figures?
Yes, we are saying that we met the account. You cannot lie about such a thing because it's very easy for somebody to find out whether you actually met the account with 155.4 million Ghana cedis in it. That's what we are saying. If you think that is not true, tell us how much you left in the account. Don't say there was enough in the account to pay the debt. There wasn't. We are telling you that there was a balance of 155.4 million. And in the CD account, there was a balance of about 64,000 dollars in it.
Dollars.
That's the point we have. And fortunately, Kofi has actually, confirmed these figures that, the dollar account had this much in it. We never said that the debt service account was not active. Don't forget that the debt service account, the entire debt management was put together by Richard Kwame Pepra under President Rawlings. When we said that unless even an item is on the government priority list, we would take a concessional facility of 35% or more before Ghana will borrow. We have been very disciplined with these things, except when we had the energy crisis that we had to go off that because then it became priority of the government to make sure there is power. It is rather the NPP that has not been, very prudent in,
the transparency
adhering to these rules that were put down. But the point is, why is, as my brother was saying, what does this matter? We just wrote, the president directed that money should be paid, even though, like I said, it was 154.4 million. So he had to direct that then we have to find the money to pay it. Because it's very obvious that before election, the NPP was very, punctual in paying this thing from 2023. But
they pay 20.
But don't forget, we are supposed to be on their budget, expenditure in advance of appropriation. And if under their budget, the fund that is responsible for paying coupons has 155.4 million, then obviously they didn't plan to pay.
Maybe they could have gotten the money just like
from somewhere else,
like you did.
Okay, so why are they making it, look like we had left money in there when there is no money in there, and the president has
when there's money but it's not enough.
155 million is obviously not enough to meet an obligation of 6 billion. It's woefully inadequate to meet an obligation of 6 billion. And don't forget, not only have we met that obligation, we have also left 9.2. I even thought it was 9.23. Kofi says that it is 9.27. We've also left that for what will mature in July and August. So I think that...
What do you mean by you've also left that?
The balance in the debt service account now is 9.27 billion Ghana cedis.
Okay.
And that is planning to be used to pay the coupons that are due in July and August. So it is the NPP that made this a problem. There was no problem. That the president has lied and that they have left enough money. What is enough money? They have refused to tell us how much they left. We are saying that we met the account with 55.4 billion. We didn't make it a problem. The president just directed that.
Find the money.
Find the money and pay it.
Okay. Talking about finding the money, they have found the money. Kofi, you did mention that finding the money, they could touch on, some of the treasury bills and all of that. They go in there, they take it and all. But what happened to the right to information bill here? Because this information should have been out there a long time ago.
Yeah, yesterday we reached out to the minister in charge of government communication, asking for either the full document in terms of hard copy or the soft copy. If we do not get it today, we are going to place an RTI request requesting for the account details of the sinking fund since 2014, right? We want to see what has been the transfers into the sinking fund, of course, because of nomenclature. So certain things were changed in terms of the name. But the debt service account is also something that we are placing an RTI request to get information from. But Rosalind, I think that, beyond who has paid, who has not paid, the bigger problem is about the debt servicing obligation this year, which to me, the figures are very scary. And I understand from investor point of view why the NDC is trying to whip up interest in domestic investors. Because if you analyze what the IMF actually puts in their December reports, right, you will know that this is a government that will need domestic investors a lot. Why? Because one, you are going to service a debt obligation of close to 142 billion, Ghana cedis. In terms of dollars, I remember the president over last week saying that it's somewhere around $15 billion. The key question is, where are you going to get this money when already the IMF is placing a restriction, is placing a cap on your external borrowing, saying that on the external level, you cannot borrow more than $250 million. If you come to the local bond, the local space, you only have T-bills left. And reading from the IMF document, the IMF expects that government should be back issuing local bonds in the next quarter of this year, so Q2, which is just about 2 months away. The IMF expects that government should gradually return to local bond issuance. So if you are going to do local bond issuance, then I understand why the NDC wants to create that sort of positive sentiment that this is a government that will pay. We are creating buffers. And so when we start introducing our new bonds, you definitely will buy it.
Okay.
The biggest problem, I mean, in terms of the 142 billion debt servicing that we are supposed to pay this year, if you look at the data, what you will see is that most of the problem actually comes from the domestic side, where if you break down 142, close to or more than 80% is supposed to be paid to local investors, which means that local investors are currently aware that if there's anybody important in the space right now, it's them. And T-bill market is not enough to actually pay a debt servicing of, let's say, 117 billion Ghana cedis. And so, I mean, transparency is important because you intend to come back to the market in the next quarter. So we need transparency.
That's
this
very
is
important.
the best time that we should be having some of this news because it affects our credit ratings, right? And especially looking at the fact that IMF expect that most of our the financing of our deficits this year should come from our local investors. It will be interesting to see how we resolve this. But for me, the bigger problem is that you have a debt servicing obligation of 142 billion Ghana cedis. And the question is, how is government going to find this money to pay, especially if you compare it to the projected revenue for this year?
Quite interesting. Kofi will still be on. I just want to read a few messages, then I'll come and take... Yes, Opinion, you want to say something?
How did we get here?
How did we get here?
Exactly.
How did we get here? How did we get to DDEP? How did we get here? If for nothing at all, we don't need to go for Freedom Information Act. Show us the account.
That's all.
Simple. Show us the account. Simple. But Roslyn, you see, we are blinding ourselves because this country, we have the money to be able to support whatever we want to do. If for nothing at all, one of the major things we should start doing is to put galamsey and gold extraction in a better position.
Yeah.
We have gold. A country, we are what? Number one in gold production.
While you are having, galamseyers occupy forest reserves.
I said we have gold. Right now, the gold reserves that we have is about 2 billion, increasing. Are you trying to tell me that if we can put our gold mining in a better position, we won't be able to gather the gold we want to pack our city?
Opinion, this is where they tried with the gold for oil policy.
I'm not even talking about gold for oil policy.
But still,
the gold for oil policy is tainted with so many things that we can't even begin to get into it. We have gold in this country today. When former Vice President Baumia went to Saudi, what did they tell him? They said they had imported nearly $8 billion worth of gold from Ghana. When he came back to see whether the returns of exporting gold to that country was equivalent to the sum of money we got, he found it was only 2 billion Ghana. So where did all that gold go? How did it get there?
All right.
We have to plan, be strategic, sit down and say, okay, how do we support some of these things? We have gold. Let's see how we get our gold reserves in a better form and then use it. Right. Why are we crying? There are some countries who don't have gold are doing better than us.
I think in a nutshell, what opinion you're trying to say is that we've been having leaders that are greedy.
Look at what the IMF is telling us, that we should hurriedly go to what? Bond market. When we still have
domestic
challenges.
Bond.
We still have challenges.
Yeah.
We haven't been able to change the mindset of people, because once upon a time, the bond market was safe. A lot of people will not go into the bond market today, whether external or domestic.
That's true. Honorable Nyindam, you want to say something before I read the messages?
No, not really. Maybe when you are done with your messages.
Okay, all right. I'll read these messages. I'll give you some time. You talk about it, then I can go to the next topic.
That's okay.
All right. So, good morning, Rosalind. The NPP's actions have been quite the spectacle, haven't they? It's like they are trying to prove that they are above the law. Newsflash, no one is above the law. Let's take a walk down memory lane. Remember 2013 when they rejected Mahama as president-elect and took him to court? That ordeal lasted over 8 months, delaying his swearing in. Fast forward to today, and we have Ernest Kumi, who's been served with an interim injunction, yet the NPP still presented him for swearing in. Talk about disrespecting the courts. It's ironic that their actions have actually encouraged ordinary Ghanaians to study the constitution and court proceedings. And fun fact, there are now more lawyers in Ghana with equally qualified ones in the NDC. So NPP, it's time to give us a break. As even Afenyo Markin rightly admitted on 6th December 2024 during the swearing in, Ernest Kumi, that he shall face the full force of the law if need be. The laws of Ghana need to regain trust, which has been eroded by the NPP government's antics. It's time for accountability and respect for the rule of law. Timothy Anabela from Bechim. Thank you so much, Timothy, for sending that. Madam, good morning to you and your guests. Madam host, just to remind our NDC friends in the public sector that Nana Addo was described as a tyrant leader, but increased their salary to 25% last year. Someone who they described as Messiah has given them 6%, a yazoo to teachers and nurses. Good morning to you, Roslyn. Good morning to your cherished viewers, and good morning to your guests, especially Matthew Nyindam, the NP for Bandai constituency. We, the constituents, are proud to have him represent us and contributing to national issues. Truly, Bandai is working again. This is Dodo from Bandai. Thank you so much, Dodo. Good morning, Madam Host. This government is a big liar. How can you just enter office just 2 weeks and you are claiming to pay bondholders an amount of 6 billion Ghana cedis? Where did you get that kind of money, if not the hard work of the president, Nana Addo? Please, madam, how much is a generator there? We are suffering with the almighty Dumso in Upper West. Oh, there's Dumso in Upper West? Okay. When Mahama took over, there were no oil to power our generators, but Mahama has to conjure to get our ECG working. When Mahama took over, there were no food for SHS schools. Again, Mahama has to conjure for food in the schools. How difficult is it for him to settle DDEP if you have good intentions? Somebody prioritize paying for spare parts at National Cathedral. NPP keep quiet and watch the nation builder deliver. Patrick from Macrab. Good morning, lovely Roslyn. Ask the NPP who took us to DDEP headache payments. How many times did they pay the affected persons? They should be ashamed of themselves. How many people did they kill because of the DDEP killer system? Honorable Seba Al-Hassan, Zongo Caucus. Good morning. If Afenyo Markin is... If Afenyo Markin claim NPP is a law-abiding party, why should they allow Akwesua MP Ernest Kumi to appear in the Chamber of Parliament, breaking the order of court? He must face the consequence of this act of lawless behavior. The court should apply the highest penalty unit on him so that he will learn sense not to repeat such again. We shall see who is who. Also, the misbehavior that happens in Parliament Appointment Office, the report should release fast, so those involved will be sanctioned well. I don't want my MP Garu part of this behavior. Okay, this is a warning to his MP. Good morning, Rosalind. A disgraced MPP should not disturb Ghanaians with their lies. If they had enough, why didn't they pay? Political spider from Kintapo. They did pay when it matured. They did pay when it was matured, though. Good morning to you and your panel members. Isn't it funny? When it's good, the NDC government wants to take glory. When it's bad, it's the fault of the previous government. Their stand is, we have not read our budgets. Yes, same people want to take glory. The NPP government started paying DDEP before election and even after election. Very soon, the veil will be removed and we'll see where they will shift the goalpost to. At least this morning, we've heard from a well-professional journalist from Joy Desk Kofi, who has given us the breakdown whether the previous government abandoned the sinking fund or not. This is what we expect from our journalists, not to take sides and allow their panel to do politics as usual. K. Frimpong. Good morning, Madam Host. It's unfortunate that Mr. Jantua is comparing the MPP's votes for 2016, 2020 and 2024 and the number of MPs NPP had to that of NDC. I don't see anything in your discussion that which he has to compare the two NPP in today's discussion. We have seen all his propaganda, but President Mahama will not have him give him appointment. Oh, but who says he's looking for appointment? Mr. Jantua is more than okay, boss. Very, very okay. Good morning, Rosalind. I thank God we are now breathing air of freedom. And did I hear Kofi say he will request RTI Act? Where was Kofi last year? Emmanuel says, so he didn't say that. He says we have actually applied to get the information, but if not given to us, then we'll have to enforce that act. Good morning, Rosalind. My humble question is, what has changed? The military invasion of Parliament never received an apology from Nitiwu, nor the then majority leader. His ex, the president's reputation, was maliciously dragged to the gutters. The majority leader of NPP never apologized. A senior security person was attacked in Flagstaff House. No apology received. Worse harassment was meted to several non-NPP persons without apology. Honorable Ayariga, what was your motive of apology to an accused state looter? Is Honorable Markins a lawyer to Ken, or is the minority that dictates to the state institution and NDC government how to govern? This is from Simon. All right. Okay. Hello, Joy Prime. I'm so disappointed in the MPP. Their actions and inactions truly show they care less about the ordinary Ghanaian but themselves. I think they are okay with 38.2%. Greetings to my lovely daughters, Ajia, Mami, and Sweetie. This is from Abbas Haruna from Kumawuzongo. Good morning, Madam Rosalind. The NDC is still in campaign mode. The NDC is still in the coupon payments of bonds are paid when due. What is the meaning of someone not having intentions to pay? The NDC has not bought any fuel since they took office. As the energy minister said, it will take 2 to 3 months if an order is made. The government should be open and tell us where they had the money to pay, since they are now magicians. All right, so I'll come back later and read more of the messages that are coming in. Honorable Nyindam, I wanted you to finalize.
Yes. I think that just like one of your testers said, we've gone past the campaign mode. You see, we have a country to govern. It is the responsibility of the NDC and His Excellency John Mahama to govern. With regards to the discussion we have this morning, I'm sure very soon we'll get to know the figures. Very soon. The figures will be out there. But that really doesn't matter to me, to be very sincere to you. It really, really doesn't matter to me. But I think that we are all involved in this. Everybody has somebody who has bonds in the market there and has to pick some money. It will be in the interest of the government to focus, okay, how to meet maturity anytime is due and get the people their money. It is their responsibility. Whether they got the money or we had the money there. Like I said earlier, it is their responsibility to honor those maturities. But the statement or the press conference that came from us was just to let them know that they should not paint the picture as if the government or the past government never had plans to pay. Well, that was just for the record. I remember some also testing that, look, we were in this country, they told us that the fuel we had could last for just, 5 hours or something? That for the fuel we had in this country could just last for 5 hours. Those kind of campaign mood thing should be left because we are moving. We are not. In 4 years' time that we're going to have elections. They are not in government. They should move away. They should move away from opposition speak and then come to governance. The facts will come out. And I sincerely believe that 2023 coupons were paid, 2024 coupons were paid. If we're in government, 2025 coupons will still be paid.
All right, thank you.
So if they are paying it, it is their responsibility to pay those coupons. And they should focus. One most important thing, like Isaac said, you see, we are supposed to build confidence in the markets, especially domestically. Okay? So some subject matters like this should not be subject to political debates. Let's see how we can build the confidence in the people so that they can go back to the market. Because if the economy crashes, I will suffer. You will suffer.
All suffer.
It doesn't matter which political party you belong to. So sometimes when there are strategic decisions to be taken, I will appeal to them to take it, let people feel like, okay, there is confidence in the market, people who want to invest in the market will come. As for the IMF stake, it is true. As for the Europe, what's the name? The foreign market, you have a limit that you can go.
All right, Honorable Yindam. I want to say thank you to Kofi as well for joining us this morning and helping us understand it better. We are hoping to get more details with regards to the account details, and then we can put it out there so that all these, we can put to sleep. We don't want this whole thing of I paid this, I did this, I did that. Government is supposed to be a continuum, but if there's transparency, we'll even get to where we are today. Now, talking about that, let's take a look at what is happening at the Birth and Death Registration Office, where the registrar, who has been selected by the president, the people say they don't want him. Now, this man has been at post for a while, so he's not a new face at all. But CLOSAC is actually threatening a strike because they don't want him as the registrar. And it looks like the NDC, you are getting one too many with regards to this. VRA, same thing is happening there. We heard about GRA as well. So what's happening? Is it that the appointment that are being made, it's not pleasing to the people can do the job, or what is it?
I think if you compare what is happening at VRA to what is happening at Birth and Deaths, they are two different things.
But there's still a protest, though.
Yes. Let me distinguish between the two. In terms of VRA, NCA, and what have you, some party people are saying that they would wish that somebody they knew to be, within the rank and file of NDC, occupy those positions. The government has also explained that he has a mandate to deliver to the people of Ghana. And it is important that they put the right people in certain people who they think can advance the causes of such institutions. And of course, it is in the interest of the nation for that to happen. Government has also explained that. So it's a different thing. That's within the party. And, some of these people who people thought had nothing to do with the NDC, it turns out that they are not really hostile to the NDC, like people thought. Now, in terms of Birth and Death Registry, you have, a union that is saying that they believe that within the public service, appointment as the registrar of Birth and Death should be made by, should be a a civil servant to occupy that position, and that they believe that, there's a perception that the person who has been appointed is politically exposed. So this is what they are saying.
Yes, that's what they are saying.
Okay, you see, I want to put this there.
This is exactly what they are saying.
Now, here's the thing. How a president or people get into the public service is a matter of law. It is not the creation of any president, present or past. Neither is it can it be said that because those of us sitting here have, certain perception of how people should be appointed to certain positions, makes it what the law says should happen. Or even if 1 million people out there believe that this is the way to appoint a registrar of birth and death, it is the law that defines how people are put into the public service and how people are removed from the public service. Let me make some reading here for paraphrase, part of the Constitution.
Okay.
Now, in Article 195 of the Constitution, the President has a power to appoint public officers, including even the decentralized departments like birth and death. If you look at 196, President may subject the provision. The President may, subject to the provision of the Constitution, grant a person a certificate of appointment to hold or act in the public service. If you look at Article 207, the President has the power to dismiss and terminate the appointment of a public officer. Let's not even look at the Constitution, which is a parent law, by the way. But within the strength of the Constitution, the Act, Birth and Death Registration Act, came out, which is Act 1027. And if you look at Section 2 of Act 1027, it says that, just 1 second, please. The President shall, in accordance with Article 195, which I paraphrased earlier of the Constitution, appoint the registrar. The President shall, in appointing a person as a registrar, have regard to relevant academic qualification, experience, and knowledge of the person in civil registration. Then it goes on to say that the registrar shall hold office on the terms and conditions specified in the letters of appointment. So you see that by law, the presidency is saying, we acted in accordance.
So you haven't erred?
We haven't erred. Nowhere. There is no law that says the person has to be already a civil servant before he can be appointed. And the president says, if you feel that we have erred, tell us the exact, law that we have offended. And we will be humble enough, after examining those laws, we will be humble enough to withdraw the appointments that we have made.
Okay.
In any case, in the event that a person's appointment is something that has there is an issue, you go to the Labour Commission. What is the meaning of politically exposed? Were we not in this country when the controller contested our 2024 election? Are we not? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. The controller contested on the MPP ticket for 2024 election.
When he was retiring.
So he wasn't when he was retiring, not retired.
Well, but he's not in office.
When he was retiring. So more or less he went through the primaries and everything while he was a controller. You see, the point I'm trying to make is that how do we define politically exposed? In any case, what happened to the likes of Yaira and Co, who were snatched out of their positions in the public service? As the administrator of the NIA database, he was a public servant. But he was dismissed for no reason. And, people who perhaps the government thought that, and all he could do was to go to the Labour Commission.
All right, Griffith. Openye, this is where we ask if the constitutional reform is very, very, very important, where we have to make sure that we reduce some of the powers of the presidency.
Rosalind, let me go back to 195. 1951 says, subject to the provisions of this constitution, the power to appoint persons to hold or to act in an office in the public service shall vest in the president. And this is the important bit. Acting in accordance with the advice of the governing council of the service concerned, given a consultation with the Public Services Commission. So, although the president has chosen someone, the Public Services Commission also have to do what? To agree. What's the problem? What is the problem? So, you say the man is what? Politically exposed. Those politicians that have been given CEOs in parastatals, are they not politically exposed? Why aren't you striking on them? What is it about this gentleman that you say is politically exposed so you don't want him there? Tell us the truth. Don't just cover it with politically exposed and say you should go in. Because of that, you're striking.
Yeah.
Who is going to suffer? Not the people, us, who pay your salary. Isn't this a question of negotiation? It's a question of sitting down with probably the presidency or public services and sorting it out. What is it about this gentleman that they don't want him there? You've seen in the past, Electoral Commission, they put people there who are party members. A lot of these institutions got party members there, faithful or no faithful. What is the problem? Does the man deserve to work? The same way Cloxa members deserve to work. Does the man deserve to work? He deserves to work. So what is it that he's done that they don't want him for? They should tell us the truth. Because I don't see where their problem is to say they are going on strike because of this. Why? You want to bring what? Governance to a standstill, where we are today, and you go on strike, and you yourself still want to be paid whilst you're on strike. No be so. No be so.
But they have to be paid.
They have leaders in the union. The leaders in the union should take it up and tell members, we will go to government and discuss with government, tell our problems about this gentleman to government and see what government does. But if, has the president erred in appointing the gentleman? He's gone according to the law. So if he's gone according to the law, who are you to say? Yes, I think the constitutional review have a lot of things to look at, including the powers of the president.
Yeah.
How many people does he have to put in place? Over what? 66,000 people or something like that.
Over 70,000.
Over 70,000. And he's done barely.
Some you will not know.
Okay.
But he's been able to, if you look at the general appointments, the most important ones, he's been able to put people in there.
Yeah.
Because, look, he has only 4 years old. Country needs to move. Where we are sitting now. Look, if you look at the debt burden this country is under in various parastatals, it will shock you. Go to Cocoa Board. Billions of cedis. Billions of cedis.
Something that we could have used to pay the debt exchange.
I said we could have done so many things where Cocoa Board is concerned, but they are under huge debt. They even they took loan to do something else. Now that loan they took, they have now even accrued debt on the loan. That one of the buyers they took money from, who they're supposed to supply beans, they weren't able to pay back. Now, what has happened? They have to pay back with beans, but at a price that they took the money at in that time. So they are not even doing what? Enjoying the new prices of the beans. Look, we are under so much challenges where finances are concerned. Let's stop all this. Unions, let's see how all of us can get this country back to where it is. That's the most important thing.
Isn't that why they are saying they don't want anybody who is politically exposed?
And others politically exposed in other parastatals.
Maybe they have realized that anytime they have a politically exposed person, they don't get what they want.
Control the person. Control the person. If you feel the person is politically exposed, but the person has the ability, capability to be able to handle the work given to him, and you see that because he's politically exposed, you do, control him. There are checks and balances in the businesses that we run. Control him. Doesn't somebody supervise birth and death? Which ministry is it under?
Local government.
Local government. And if you find that the person they put there is not doing right, don't you go back to local government and say, this man is doing X, is doing Y. It is wrong. For local government to now say, okay, let's investigate. If they investigate, they see that what the man is doing is wrong. What do? They take him out.
Okay.
Well, let me add a little to it. I think that all laws and constitutional provisions that have been quoted are all right. CLOSAC is not challenging any of these laws. If you listen to them, have they challenged it?
Oh, they say he's just politically
They are not
exposed.
challenging this act. But I think that we have all been complaining about the powers of the president. We've all been complaining that we must have a president who is also listening. We need a listening government. Is that not the case? CLOSAC have a concern. Like we said, he has over 70,000 plus appointments to make. So why are you not paying attention to what CLOSAC is saying? Why will government engage CLOSAC? Really sit down and know what they really are talking about. Like my uncle said, after the Constitution, it's the president who appoints. Every single appointment in this country is done by the president. Nobody can take that away. And CLOSAC is not challenging that. But they think that the person is politically exposed. As to whether what means could best be explained to, maybe when they meet the president. Maybe for A, B, C, D, we think that this gentleman will not fit. If foot soldiers, like he said earlier, even foot soldiers think that somebody is not qualified because they don't know him.
They didn't say he's not qualified.
They said I'm bringing the disqualification, that they don't know him. Qualification does not mean that people alone know.
No, when you say the person does not qualify,
that's what they say.
It connotes that
no, it doesn't connote. No, listen. What they say is that the person is not qualified.
I just want to add a little bit more to.
Oh, you want to add your bit you are comfortable with. But that's not what I'm saying.
Your qualification is different.
Yes, because the people are saying that they don't know that individual.
Which makes him unqualified.
It's not about the paper.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm helping you. I'm emphasizing that.
Thank you. You know, I always said I have 2 anchors, and I'll obviously ride on your wisdom. So, if those people can even complain, I think CLOSAC can also complain. But my problem is the extent at which they want to go. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
That is the problem I have. But for all appointments, they are done by the president. And I think that the president too should listen. For all you know, this gentleman, if he gets there, he may cost us more than what maybe the strike will cost us.
Or he may not.
Oh, yes. It's half for life. It is. You may not know. It may cost us more. You see, this country, reshuffling alone has given us problem. Reshuffling means change chairs. It has given government's problem. People were saying it. Listen to the people. So sometimes, don't think that because you have authority, the voices of people don't matter. It does. For you to succeed, sometimes the voices of the people matters. Okay. Like my uncle said, I want him to know that for the debts, it's not now. It's not now. Okay, the debts that he's talking about, the inherited debts, it's not now. Well, but I'm not praising it. I'm not singing praises to our accumulation of debts. I'm not. But sometimes we must all know that as a country, once upon a time, these things are not new.
All right.
They are not.
Okay, so
let me ask.
We need to end, though. We need to end the show.
Which one are you going to ask, my uncle?
No.
Yeah.
The media has a responsibility to go and interview this man. And let us know exactly why he thinks Kloksak and the members don't want him.
Okay.
So that we know.
We'll do that. We will do that. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
I don't think he will say it.
Whatever the case is, he must
find a reason. There could be a reason for it.
All right, so something. I don't know if you have some time.
Maybe under a minute.
Maybe we should be thinking about it. Don't you think that one day we'll get up and we'll not have a parliament where people go into elections, everybody loses? I've never seen a person who has lost and is happy can easily go to court and take an injunction that we should not swear somebody in. Don't you think that one day we'll get up and we'll not have a parliament?
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
So
if we're able to have, a hung parliament at a point in time,
we should try as much as possible to take the executive out of parliament.
Okay. On that note, I want to say a very big thank you to my guests who joined us from 6 a.m. We started quite early today. So thank you so much, Opinio Kwame Chantua Esquire. He represented the CPP. Of course, Honorable Matthew Nyindam, who represented the NPP, and he's the MP for Pandai. And Osei Kwame Griffiths, who represented the NDC. Thank you all so much, gentlemen, for making time to spend with us this morning.